I extend my heartfelt gratitude to each of you who has shared your wisdom, kindness, and unwavering support over these past months. Your encouragement has been a lifeline, illuminating my path through this difficult season, and reminding me that I'm not alone. Your words have lifted my spirits and given me strength, and for that, I am profoundly thankful. This second journey through heartbreak felt less intimidating than the first. I find myself opening up again, though sharing my story has never come naturally to me. I've walked this road before, pouring effort into mending things without recognition. Countless dollars spent on therapy, years of dedication, and yet here I stand again. Over the past year, the threads of our relationship began to fray. By the time early summer arrived, the warmth we once shared had cooled significantly. Our conversations dwindled, replaced by a creeping sense of routine. I wondered if she might be grappling with menopause, given her age. With gentle concern, I asked if something was weighing on her, hoping to bridge the gap, but she dismissed my questions, offering no insight. The affection we once had faded starkly. We managed to coexist amicably enough, but the physical connection I treasured, warm back massages, tender hugs, soft kisses, clasped hands, or even a light touch on my leg, vanished entirely. Gone were the playful moments, like her ruffling my hair or our quiet snuggles in bed. Physical touch has always been my way of feeling loved, a cornerstone we worked hard to rebuild in therapy. Yet, when I reached for her hand or tried to cuddle during a movie, she'd withdraw. I respected her need for space, focusing instead on the parts of our life that still held together. As the months wore on, we planned a Christmas trip to my homeland. When I mentioned booking flights, she casually revealed she'd scheduled her work vacation for the week after Christmas. Her decision bewildered me. Why plan it that way? It felt like a deliberate move, echoing her past controlling behaviors, as if she wanted to derail our plans. I hadn't seen my family or friends in over 2 years, and her choice cut deeply. What had I done to deserve this? I gently urged her to reconsider her schedule, but she claimed it was set in stone. I proposed she work remotely from our destination, and after some reluctance she agreed. Despite the strain, I secured the tickets. Then came an unexpected invitation to a dinner party, which struck me as odd. Why the last-minute notice? In hindsight, I realized she'd known about it earlier, but assumed I'd decline due to the short notice. We went, and the evening was delightful. Wonderful company, delicious food, and spirited conversation. By midnight, most guests had departed, but a few of us stayed, sipping drinks and talking. As I glanced at my wife across the table, my heart stopped. I kept quiet, engaging in my conversation while watching her. A heavy realization settled in, but this time, something was different. A numbness washed over me, as if my emotions had shut down. Everything fell into place. Her close friend, a self-centered man who'd been struggling earlier that year, had been leaning on her for support. She'd been texting him, offering advice and comfort. That night, they were so absorbed in their drinks and conversation that they seemed oblivious to my presence across the table. If they behaved this way in front of me, what happened when I wasn't there? When we got home, she snapped at me for staying out too late, past 2 a.m., and gave me the cold shoulder before storming off to bed. Her reaction was nothing new. She showed no enthusiasm for our Christmas trip, and I suspected she'd rather spend it with her friend. She'd already complained about the spotty internet at our destination. The next morning, I calmly noted that her friend seemed to be flirting with her, mentioning how he'd been touching her back. She met my words with a blank, dismissive stare, not her usual frustration. After a 10-second silence, I shifted the topic. That moment cemented my resolve. Later that week, she mentioned bumping into this friend in town while he was on a date, asking me to keep it hushed. I nodded, but my decision was made. I was done with the turmoil. The first time this happened, I had no proof, just deceit, disrespect, and manipulation. Back then, my codependency drove me to try salvaging things. We made strides for nearly a year and a half before the cracks returned. This time, I saw clearly, with newfound understanding and self-respect to carry me forward. I wasn't angry, just relieved. Relieved that my instincts were sharp, that I wasn't as shattered as I'd feared, and that I wasn't the unlovable, untrustworthy person she'd painted me to be. Her lack of empathy was now undeniable. It was time to release her and move on. I'm immensely grateful for the guidance and perspectives you've all shared, which have anchored me through this ordeal. My divorce is now finalized, and I moved into a new home just last week. I'm still picking up the pieces of myself after everything. The divorce process was smooth, but we had to share a home for months while sorting out finances and paperwork. She took half of the property I owned, and I didn't fight it. That place was my dream, but I lacked the strength to contest it. I'd stopped caring about saving our relationship. We slipped back into old habits, watching familiar shows, eating together, talking about our days, as if nothing had changed. Yet her biting comments persisted, mocking me over small things, even in casual moments. They no longer stung. They only reinforced that I was making the right choice. I reached out to my in-laws, expressing sorrow for how things ended and gratitude for the years we shared as family. They didn't know the full story but were remarkably supportive, insisting we'd remain in contact despite the divorce. Our mutual friends, whom I thought might choose sides, stayed neutral and have been an incredible source of solace. When I went back to collect my final belongings and hand over the keys, she barely acknowledged me. She likely got the better end of the financial deal, but I'm at peace with what I kept, most of what truly mattered to me. I took a few days off work to reflect and plan my next steps carefully, which was a wise move. I cried a few times that weekend, but I was surprised by how little. Loneliness is starting to settle in, but I'm not ready to date or jump into anything new. I need time to rebuild myself and address my vulnerabilities. I've lined up several therapy sessions over the coming months to help me find my footing more quickly. Reflecting back, the pain of last summer was a hidden gift. I worked through so much grief then, and while sadness still comes in waves, it's not as crushing as I'd expected. It's nothing like the agony of last summer and fall. Our toddler seems to be adapting to the changes. I feel for my ex and her struggles, and I hope she finds her path. To all of you who've been my rock through this storm, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your support has been my guiding light, and I'm endlessly grateful for your presence on this journey.